it is looking very nice. It did fly my way at the end of that game, which means it seems like a good omen for North America, who are starting off with a bang here in game number 1. Series number 1, up 1-0 now up against TSM. We're looking to bring us to a third game for the second time today.
And switching over to that blue side is Tribe, trying to beat Mr. Worldwide here, going from coast to coast. Seemed like that last game was pretty explosive, but all things under control for Tribe. They had a few moments where they dove in a little bit over their bounds, but it wasn't something they couldn't come back and mop up for themselves in the following play. So you can appreciate that for Tribe. They're willing to make the crazy play, knowing that they are still confident. And that game was a very, very fast one. We were not kidding when we said that these guys win fast.
I think for me, the question is, like, if they don't get a lead like that again, what does the game look like, right? Because they can afford to get a bit reckless sometimes in the mid-game. But obviously, when the game is even, you don't want to do as much of that. So we'll see what happens here. TF, Camille, Corky Band on the TSM side. Fizz actually joining the pile alongside Nunu and Fiora, which means Ziggs is our first pick here.
The Fizz one definitely jumps out to me, similar to the brand band that we saw earlier today. Haven't actually seen these champions in action on our side, but something fishy is going on in this scrim, specifically with this pick. Senna locked in for TSM, and have a lot of creativity that you can go for with that one. Galio still available. That's been the go-to on the day, first day of Horizon Cup. Might not work as well into something like a Ziggs that could just bully you out of the lane, but hey, it does provide you with a lot of frontline later.
As Renekton, looks like nice easy one there for TSM. Plugs in nicely into the top lane. Pretty stable, pretty safe, very consistent. Yeah, the thing that excites me about this Ziggs pick, again, Tribe did talk about coming into this event wanting to show their diversity. Tigers will buck that trend and continue to pick Vi, but hey, he did pretty well on that Vi, and Oldskool did very well on that Lucian, so they are going to take those 2 picks again.
Does look like the Ziggs is going mid then for starting, so not masking where that flex is going to be any longer. However, something ridiculous for like a Lucian in the Baron lane, but that's not something that I think we can really expect from Chuck based on what we know from him in the Summoner series. We're sort of knowing where this Lucian is going. Again, also by how well Oldskool played in game 1. Very exciting to see him back on this one. TSM showing us yet another unique pick on the day. Pastry, this is the first Wukong of the day. And Nasus.
My goodness.
So Senna Nasus is a very real lane. Yeah, so what you do on the Nasus, for those of you listening at home as well who may not know, you go for the AP build, you max your Spirit Flare, you go for a double Font of Life in your lane, you just go for a lot of sustain. It works pretty well, you get some nice scaling later on.
I hope we see that. That sounds really fun. But again, more unique picks. TSM bringing us 2 on the day, back to back there for the Wukong and the Nasus. It's Braum Darius, though, to round it out there for Tribe. So keeping it pretty simple here. MaxGreen going back to the Braum, which looked very good, I might add. Didn't get a whole lot of chance to sing his praises because the rest of his team were getting all the kills. But the support, as always, putting in the work while everyone steals the kills. MaxGreen, I'm very curious if he goes for no flash again. That's definitely a cool little thing that might become more commonplace if Braum is going to continue to be a pretty high priority pick in this tournament.
I genuinely did like that a lot. It's not just because it is creativity, although I am a pretty big fan of seeing new things. It did just make a lot of sense, and it was really effective for MaxGreen in that game. Even going so far as getting that 2v2 kill in the lane with it on this same duo. Like, up against a very defensive lane this time, I believe the Senna and the Nasus are going to be much more difficult to break apart in just that 2v2, but hey, that's what ttigers is there for.
Yeah, last pick is Orianna, therefore Mike, so going to be kind of a classic. Ziggs versus Orianna, lots of Qs thrown at each other in that lane. But I'm curious to see, it's kind of cool, right? Because again, we talked about starting, obviously coming into this series. Definitely talked a lot about Oldskool coming out of game 1. And I think when I saw this, it was like, oh, which player of the 2 that we're watching is going to take it? And then we found out very quickly at starting. Obviously a very aggressive player. We've already seen what Oldskool's Lucian can do, especially with the leads. So, you know, how is starting on something a little bit different, like the Ziggs, can he continue to be as aggressive? Can he be as effective when he's not able to, you know, swing on in and shoot people?
Probably not as aggressive as the Akshan. I think this champion is... You're right.
Satcheling on in.
You
Proto
certainly
on
have
top
that
of
option as Ziggs, but I think that's something that probably won't happen as often as the Akshan was going. We'll say that one. More of a late game carry for this team. Oldskool as well has a lot of crit options on this Lucian here, and notably TSM doesn't really have a lot of crit champions in their own team. This Senna we're expecting to go for the utility builds and like the armor penetration of the Black Cleaver or the slows of the Serelda's Grudge. Either way, you're not building crit on that champion.
Yeah, not the one farming in that lane, if I had to guess. Although I guess
No, you're not. Yeah,
right.
It
Okay,
is going to be
so
the Nasus.
not going to be able to get 5 items and shoot people as a
Yep.
marksman. As I mean, maybe if we go really late, you never know. TRB lining it up here. It's ooh, very sneaky. Oh, this is nuts. If Mike gets picked up, okay, he didn't. Instead, they sweep, and we're invading.
Wow, yeah, so they're actually forcing Tetis down to the blue side of his jungle. A really big detriment, actually, to a champion like Wukong, who doesn't necessarily have the strongest of clears. Okay, he's not going for that one at all. He's actually going for the trade of red buffs. That's much better for him if he can pull this off. And for Tribe, they're fully committing to this. They're going for that full lane swap that we saw in just last series.
It's the classic lane swap, basically. So definitely the right choice there for Tetis to go to the cross map and go take the enemy red. They're not going to lose out at the end of the day. Should be able to fall back to that blue. You can see all this presence here for TSM is going to secure that objective. And now a dive though. This has always been the thing. And now Sonyy going to get himself dove. MaxGreen lining it up, and that is so good. It's ttigers at that first blood.
In the first minute of the game, too, I absolutely adore the turret juggling that we just saw from MaxGreen, who, by the way, is not running Flash, but he's not running the Exhaust either. He's gone for the Ignite this time around, a summoner spell that works all too well in a 2v1 situation, or let alone a 3v1, as it provides way too much damage for Sonyy to deal with. And again, the turret juggling, phenomenal stuff from Tribe.
That's just so well played there for Tribe. Setting it up, clearly a plan they had coming into this game and executed to a T. And dodging the potential snooze fest.
Yeah.
It would have been Senna Nasus.
We heard from Alk Battery on the desk that he wanted Tribe to have an identity in this series. It feels like their identity is just killing you as soon as the game starts. Again, kills happening in the first minute of the game. This one does come from ttigers, so it's not just in the isolated lane matchup. But again, as you said, this is something they were clearly planning for. They executed super well, and now they have this huge advantage.
Starting just chucking the satchel at Mike. A little bit of poke there with the Airy. Definitely going to be more about what they do when they leave their lane. Obviously, Ziggs can throw his ulti pretty far. So it can help out nicely. ttigers already with the ulti. Sonyy! No getting out of this one. That's the second blood out of eye.
Just securing the kill with Assault and Battery there too. Sonyy didn't have Flash, but he did potentially have that Slice and Dice. So just making sure the Gator does not get away. Tribe picks up a second one. Both of them for ttigers. Again, also going for the Trinity Force build. Not wanting to sit back and deal no damage. Being the tank. No. 2 games in a row, ttigers gets by. 2 games in a row, he is killing everybody.
He's also getting early kills, which helped enable this kind of build. So I'm starting to think it's on purpose. I wonder if he's the one, kind of the architect of all these strategies, specifically so he doesn't have to build tank. He's like, I really want to build Trinity Force. How do I incept my team into letting me do this? And it turns out getting kills at level 1 is the reason.
It's convincing me. He's definitely got me on his backing. I'm in his Shark Tank right there. Clear out his camps here. We're waiting about 30 seconds for that neutral objective train to take off from the station, and we're back to the regular lane state. Tribe only needed that first kill for their duo lane to feel satisfied to go right back to the Senna Nasus lane. And while they've attacked Sonyy multiple times, doesn't necessarily mean the Tribe has to go for the top side, although with MaxGreen's movements right now, you can see that's probably where they're going to land.
Yeah, Chuck just barely missing the Wukong there with the Scryer's Bloom. And so that speed train does go over to TSM. Looks like they are going to be eyeing up the Herald first. Starting, does get himself blocked up there. Shockwave's nice. Starting actually going to flash. Holds on to the barrier, but does want to get away from the situation.
you got to be careful with that Orianna Shockwave. Sometimes when you're right in the middle, you don't know which way you're actually going to be flown, so anticipating potentially being flown into the enemy team directly did preemptively flash. This tribe do set up for a neutral objective, but it won't be Rift Herald at all. It will be the scaling option of the Ocean Dragon, giving up the Rift Herald to Tetis and just taking this turret instead, although they will be late to the first turret mark.
Yeah, there's going to be a trade here. Looking good here for both sides, actually. TSM should be happy with the situation. Tribe, though, going to get themselves a gold lead here. Up 1,000 before the turret falls, now up about 1,500 as that one goes down. And I think just playing to their strong side of the map, making sure Oldskool continues to get gold and get himself ahead. Lines up.
Definitely for me as well. We just saw how much damage and how many kills Oldskool was able to get in game one. You have to imagine the team is wanting to slate him forward to get as many of those and replicate that success if possible. So you can see he's going to be farming up. Looks like he's by himself up there in that Baron lane. He's got backup available, but not quite in experience range. So just getting all these resources.
2v3, nice little start there for Wukong. Oldskool locked up forever. Easy pick up there for the center. And MaxGreen up too late. ttigers no help at all. And there's the second spin. Tetis getting maximum value. Wonderful skill shot there from Pertroni. And MaxGreen just no flash. Can't W to an ally. He's just dead.
Turns out Tribe letting Oldskool get solo experience might have been too far out of his comfort zone. MaxGreen and ttigers were in the wings, but not quite in his clutches, and it does leave Oldskool up to the Wolves, getting killed super easily. And I really love that vision play that we saw from Sonyy, waiting in that rush, lying in wait, even activating the dominance early, knowing
Watch this one again. I mean, ttigers right here. You have to think Oldskool feeling safe, but the answer was no on this one.
Yeah, really nicely done. And then the flash forward with the Cyclone too. I really just love this play from TSM overall. And then they can even dash over this wall, get another Cyclone off, and with the Wither and the added slows, snares from Pertroni, everything falling into place for TSM. You can see what this composition is built to do. It is built to play that front-to-back team fight and just provide a lot of utility for the carry that is, by all accounts, Sonyy in this game.
Good here for his prospects, as the Rift Herald did take out the bottom tower and get a good amount of damage onto the tier 2 as well. You can see this time they bring more than one person. Ooh. Up that, oh goodness, ttigers finds the angle. That's looking good. There's the center ulti to try and protect it. It does save the teammate for now, but Oldschool's gonna get the first kill. ttigers flashes in, gives his life away for the double. But the damage on the return is very effective out of TSM. That's gonna be a 2-for-1 trade. Tribe though needs to be a little bit careful. Oldskool perhaps vulnerable, but does get away.
Mikey Shockwave was insane. All 5 members caught up in that one. Impressive stuff from the mid laner of TSM, even in a play that ended up in that deficit. Tribe picking up 2 there. Nothing else really to talk about on the back end of that team fight. Nothing going on in the objective standpoint or the structures, but the players do click their buttons quite nicely.
Certainly do. Here's watch again, and the Act replay looks so close. But that Orianna ulti, excuse me, Senna ulti was nice, but Orianna ulti much better there, even though Oldskool does somehow get a double kill.
I mean, of course he does. He's Oldskool at playing Lucian. He's going to get those multi-kills. He's got his signature 2 items now, too, as Chuck looking for an apprehend doesn't quite find it.
Big old whiff on that one, and TSM looking for the punish. Tetis a little too vulnerable, but there's ttigers going in, wants the softer target. It's carliTo that's there. Another great shockwave finds 3 or 4. But Mike doesn't get the kill. Chuck's gonna yeet on out of there. And TSM just can't catch a break, it feels like.
Oldskool was completely shutting out Sonyy from that team fight as the marksman Lucian. He's up a level on the Renekton. And I was saying before how Sonyy was likely going to be the carry for this team. If you can't 1v1 the Lucian, then that's not going to come easy for you. The rest of your team needs you to deal a lot of damage in these team fights, especially after that shockwave lands, as Mikey has shown to be very good at. But this far behind is not going to work.
Got the Herald, but what's it going to cost? That's at least 1 kill. ttigers in trouble. The rest of the time they're going in. Beautiful 3-man brawl multi though. This is going to connect, but TSM will reinforce starting. Now trying to make something happen, but MaxGreen's going to be left out to dry. It's Chuck that's moving around. That's a great signal. Can they get a kill? Indeed, Oldskool will get out with one as Chuck is just walking away, starting with the satchel, saves himself. And that's so nice from Tribe for the 1-for-1.
Oh yeah, they get out completely fine with this one, as they do lock in that Rift Herald. They're going to be alive and ready to fight for this next Infernal Dragon as well. They didn't actually use too many ultimates in that one. They did use the Glacial Fissure, but their pick tool is still available in the Assault and Battery. Chuck can still go for his rampaging resets on the dunk, and they've got all this power. They're completely undestined on this dragon. TSM can't do anything about it. They're still crawling out of their base after the aftermath of that last fight.
It feels like the important one there is Tribe always got the objectives on the mind, especially that dragon. They do love that one. And you know, they connect the play after the top side play, they get the 1-for-1, ttigers respawns, they run back to the dragon and keep that one secure. Starting to be hit by some shadows. TSM looking for the engagement, don't find it.
Yeah, MaxGreen just staying stalwart in his defenses, making sure that no stray skill shots or projectiles land onto his backline. You gotta respect this Braum play, man. He doesn't have the safety of something like that Flash. Again, 2 games in a row. Very, very confident that even if he dies, it's his team that's gonna matter in those team fights. He gets his abilities off, and then it's okay. He's just a big health bar, and he can maybe ignite the enemy team as well. It's more important than flashing out.
And it seems like the funnel old school plan is in full swing right now on the Tribe side. He has been like playing like Tristana. He is just in a side lane, chilling, collecting the delicious golden XP. And he is very far ahead individually as a result. And now they're going to hit the tower here. TSM will have to respond. Mid lane though, ooh, I love this little play. Can they survive though? 2v2 top side though is Oldskool trying to make it happen. Sonyy is low, he does get the kill. MaxGreen now gonna be the extra added value, but no, they don't get it. In fact, Pertroni is gonna go for a wonderful W once again, and MaxGreen does fall. Mid lane is the issue, but it's not an issue right now. It's 2-0 clean for TSM.
That is a 2v2 double kill on the side of TSM. Excellent flash forward to get that last bit of damage onto Oldskool from Sonyy. And this is that carry versus carry moment that we were hoping to see from TSM. Yeah, Sonyy might struggle in the 1 versus 1, but as long as he has the support of Pertroni there, if he can bring that with him to every single one of these fights and have success, then that's all that really matters. If you're killing Oldskool as this carry on the team, then that is that winning condition for TSM to get back into this game and get their carries online, which they really need to do very fast.
I love what Sonyy did there too. Just like confident in Pertroni's skill shot accuracy. The Tigers getting in there again. Good damage on Pertroni though. Chuck gets found on the front line. Sonyy is going to get dunked, and that's enough for the kill. Tetis dives in, but that's going to be a second. It's Tribe's team fight that's looking hot right now. It's Tetis that will finally fall 2-0 this time as Chuck gets on in there with a Q. Double up for hand. Glacial Fissure out. But center is unstoppable as Pertroni snags the second.
Oh, Chuck. Did a ridiculous amount of work in that last fight. Can he get out of this one? All right, he's on the escape. Did you see all of the healing that Chuck got from his Decimate in that last team fight? That was absolutely absurd. He doesn't even have something like a Spirit Visage quite yet. That was just his positioning and repositioning with the flash as well, still trying to defend this turret.
Oldskool getting way too aggressive. It does dash out to safety. Unfortunately for them, the turret does fall, starting respawning in a second. To watch this one again. Let's have a look at the old Daria, shall we?
This champion has just looked so insane today. Chuck proving that he can play with the big dogs as well. Doesn't quite get the reset, but he's super, super close. If he had been just a bit of damage more, then it could have been a completely different fight. And Tribe could have wiped it, but even still, he just heals like his entire health bar in that team fight with just Decimate alone. Super impressive positioning.
Well, Tribe's team fighting looking pretty good, but TSM definitely battling back. This is a much closer game than what we saw in the last time around. We're almost 14 minutes through, and it's 2,000 between the two sides. It's Tribe still with the lead, but TSM not far away. As Tribe are going to have to try and get themselves in the area for this dragon. It is going to be the mountain. MaxGreen getting started, rooted up, and Sonyy is going to look for the play, but now the turnaround there. Tigers is good for the center shield. Oh, looking nice. It's Tetis that dives in, but he can't find the spin really, but it is enough to force back Tribe.
Oldskool very low. He can't really re-engage this team fight, but most of the members of TSM are also pretty worse for wear. We got sustained from Senna, but they have to deal with the poke from starting. Now starting up onto this dragon. There's teleports in. I believe that is Oldskool from the base. You gotta run, TSM.
Now they go in for the Mountain Drake. MaxGreen isn't here, but a show of force for Tribe is just going to give them the dragon, and Pertroni's getting chunked. Tribe just waltz on in there and take it.
Miss out on a couple of minions in the midway, but as long as they get the third dragon, they're completely okay with that. They even have some priority in this dragon lane if they so choose to take out this turret. Oldskool doesn't know that he's completely safe to do it. He will recall on out of there, taking the safe route. You got to respect that one from Tribe. They don't want to throw away their lead. They're on the brink of winning their first series in Horizon Cup.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about the dragons always being important. It's 3 straight for Tribe, which has to feel good for them, but the next one is a real banger, Smacks. Infernal, pretty good on its own. Elder Infernal, really good. Elder Infernal with this many elemental picks already finished, real good.
That's a lot of relays. Is this the first Elder Dragon that we would see if it does spawn? I feel like it is for today. I don't recall ever seeing another one on the day, but regardless, that doesn't take away from how important this objective is for both of these teams to try to take away. For Tribe, of course, like you said, they have so many stacked up Drakes that buff would just completely be game winning. And that's incentive enough for TSM to want to take that one away. Waiting for that to spawn might be the priority for these two teams. Is Chuck?
I love this play. Center Shroud into the shadows, and Chuck is the one caught out. Decimate 1 doesn't connect. Stone play popped, and off he walks.
Wow, he's just so tanky, so durable. Can't be taken out as long as there's no big crowd control on top of him. But the Baron doesn't move away. TSM have this one on lock and key. Can the rest of Tribe arrive here? The jungler's not close.
You might have spotted ttigers there, and there's the pick they're looking for. It's Chuck again, but this time, no stone plate, and the flash isn't enough to save him.
That is a lot of extra damage onto the big tanky member. Flash forward from Pertroni.
Really stasis out of my bit of mind, no matter. It's MaxGreen that's going to target. ttigers going in. Neutral pitch is not bad. The center shield, though, is so nice. As Tetis tries to dive in, but Oldskool gets crazy aggressive. Is forced to flash over the wall, and now Mike's going to chase him down. Does grab the kill there as TSM's team fight looking real nice right now.
Mikey is saving these team fights on Orianna. Another crucial shockwave and a shutdown onto Oldskool means that TSM walk away with a 1 team fight. They are now in the kill lead for the first time in this series. Massive stuff for the Brazilian squad as they try to claw their way back into the series. We get to watch this replay. Look at all of the damage that comes through off of Mikey alone.
Yeah, and again, MaxGreen pretty tanky. ttigers trying to finally re-engage, and there's just nothing.
Boom. That is so insane. I don't know how he manages to do this back to back to back. Flashes forward to kill Oldskool, making sure that nuisance is taken care of. No more dashes around with a relentless pursuit. As we get a look into the coach's booth for both teams. You can see they're both pretty stressed out at this point. This game is really close.
Yeah, a little face palm in motion there on the Tribe camp.
No.
As maybe repeating the GIF out, I guess. ttigers going to lose the GA. MaxGreen trying to find it. Glitch Fit is not bad. Good ulti there for the Ziggs. ttigers looking for the dunk, but he can't quite find it. And Oldskool is just flashing back with the calling. Starting actually did get a kill, but Oldschool's in trouble. He's going to get killed now. A 4v3 for TSM.
All right, starting still alive. He still has all of this extra damage at his disposal with the bomb, so you can't do a whole lot else if you are on the side of TSM, but you're completely fine with this. You already got those 2 picks, one of them onto Oldskool. You are consistently killing off this Lucian that gave you so many problems in that last game of the series. We're waiting for this objective to spawn. ttigers Oldskool won't be here. That's no smite for Tribe. Tetis, can he stay alive? Can he dodge all of these Ziggs bombs and secure this one for his team?
Tribe's gonna have to run interference. You have to distract him. You need to buy time. Zelda Dragon's pretty tanky. Starting is getting some decent poke with Sonyy. He's just gonna shut it out. Straight in onto starting he goes. MaxGreen on the other side there with Chuck is trying to make magic happen, but there is no magic here, and it's just TSM still on this Zelda Dragon. TP in for ttigers. A miracle steal on the cards, perhaps. Oldskool again going back around. They're going for it. They're going to go for the T-fight instead. The other dragon is low. It's so low. Who's going to be able to get it? The spine is there. It is Wu Wukong that gets the TSM are going to get that Elder. Oldskool's going to get shredded to bits. It is only starting left alive, and for how much longer is TSM win the fight they needed to win in this game?
TSM deny the gigantic objective that is Elder Infernal, and they make he'll starting underneath his own turret. This might be the game!
That looks like game on my screen, Smacks. Another third game perhaps here as TSM are going to waltz down through the bottom half of the map. It looked like a 2-0 for Tribe after game number 1, but TSM say, oh no, not so quickly. We are getting another game 3.
All right, TSM. Specifically, Mikey, man. This Orianna was crazy on those shockwaves. Every single team fight, every single time, all of this damage. I was expecting that Sonyy would have to be the carry, have to deal all this damage on Renekton. I was completely wrong. He did deal damage, but it was Mikey's Orianna that really put in the work. That was so clean. I haven't seen an Orianna like that in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, very nice 5v5.